Good evening and warm welcome to all the participants. We have the good fortune of being joined by Mr. Verghese Jacob, a very important personality in the social entrepreneurship and the social sector space. Welcome, sir. Good evening to this conversation.
Good evening. Thanks a lot for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. So nice of you. What I will do is I'll do a brief introduction and I'll request you to start the session, sir. Here we are. These are WiseViews leadership conversations, as all the participants would know. And this is session number 198. And this will be led by Mr. Verghese Jacob. It is on the topic of the role of the social impact sector in India's development. We will start it very soon, and we'll have Q&A in 2 clusters. And all this will be consumed in 1 hour's time from now. Mr. Verghese Jacob, in picture as well as in person. Thank you so much, sir. I'll just read out the profile. Mr. Verghese Jacob is recognized as a dynamic figure in the realms of management, mentoring, and social innovation. His profile highlights a blend of strategic acumen, leadership prowess, and a deep commitment to fostering positive change in society. Mr. Verghese continues to be actively involved in mentoring, consulting, and driving social innovation projects. He remains a sought-after speaker and advisor, contributing his expertise to forums and initiatives aimed at driving positive change. Mr. Verghese boasts a distinguished career marked by significant achievements in management and leadership roles across various sectors. He has held pivotal positions in both corporate environments and non-profit organizations, showcasing his versatility and adaptability. As a management mentor, Mr. Verghese is renowned for his ability to inspire and guide aspiring leaders. He leverages his extensive experience to impart valuable insights into strategic planning, organizational development, and effective team management. His mentorship style emphasizes empathy, strategic thinking, and the cultivation of future leaders. Mr. Verghese is deeply committed to social innovation and impact-driven initiatives. He is known for his proactive approach to addressing societal challenges through innovative solutions. His projects often focus on leveraging business principles for social good, fostering sustainable development, and empowering marginalized communities. Sir has demonstrated ability to lead teams and organizations through strategic challenges. His expertise in formulating and executing strategic initiatives that drive organizational growth and impact. Of course, in terms of education, it includes degrees in the fields of relevance to management, leadership, and social entrepreneurship. Great, sir. Amazing profile. And we are, as I said in the beginning, we are fortunate to have you and get your time to speak to our audience here on this 198th session. I request you to start the session without much ado.
Sudhakar, if I may just make a quick point, Sudhakar.
Yeah.
Mr. Verghese recently won the Lifetime Award from XLRA for Distinguished Alumni. He got the award just about a month back. I thought I will keep you informed.
Wow, wonderful. Thank you, sir. Thank you for informing us and all the members who have joined today about this accolade.
Congratulations, sir. Thank you, sir. It's wonderful having you with us. Tremendous experience, an area which is highly relevant. India is going in different ways, 2 different ways, and there is a need to ensure that whatever growth comes up from one sector filters down, or not filters down, because that's not the right word, but filters across to all sectors and benefits all of society. So in that context, it's a great opportunity, sir, to learn from you. You put in so many years, developed so many leaders, and I hope we'll be able to get some insights out of that. So the first question is related, it's personal. So, we'll be very happy to know how you started your career, the major milestones in that.
I did my engineering from Trivandrum. And then I left my home state in 1976. After that, I joined XLRI and specialized in marketing and finance. And then I was selected by Godrej & Boyce, the company based out of Bombay. I worked with them for nearly over 20 years and across multi-dimensional assignments, which included sales, brand manager, marketing manager. I headed a product line at head office, which is more of industrial products like forklift trucks and machine tools. Then I was the head of the machine tool division for 3 years. And then I got an unusual assignment, which was heading the HR for the whole group. Normally, HR specialists go in there, not the line managers. So the company took a risk with me with that assignment. So I had to start all over from scratch. I went back to XLRI to the 2-week specialized HR program, and then came back to head the function. A lot of innovation we did during that 3-year stint, which included delayering the organization from we had a 17 long hierarchy structure, starting from officer all the way up to executive director. So at that time, we had also created a joint venture with GE for our appliances, that's refrigerators and all that. So I got the opportunity to work very closely with GE. I was based out of Louisville for nearly 3 months. So they had done this sort of an exercise just about a year back. Jack Welch writes in his book about this exercise, the concept of workouts, Six Sigma. So all those best practices we could learn from GE and then, excuse me, and then adopt and implement in the Godrej Group. So that took almost 1 year of my time. And then Godrej also had its challenges of traditional way of management, where the line functions were also quite, they were strong enough to run their businesses, but they were quite often hampered by the support functions, which were also islands of power centers by themselves. So I had to break down all those structures and integrate everything, focusing on businesses. And then I also headed a joint venture between Godrej and a large Singapore company. And the company was called Godrej Telecom. That's what brought me to Hyderabad. The head office was here. And we set up a factory in Tumulgiri. But unfortunately, we had to shelve the project because that Sukram scandal and all that put the clock back. And then they were not allowing private players to come into the telecom market for some time. So I was on the verge of going back to Bombay for another assignment. And unfortunately, I had a major health issue. My kidneys failed. So in 1999, I had to undergo a kidney transplant in Hyderabad. I was only 45 years old at the time. So I decided if I get a second life, I will go into the social sector. So that was the turning point of my life itself. And that's how, at a relatively young age, I went into the social sector. I'm sure there are many corporate executives who are listening who also have a lot of intentions to serve the social sector, but not full time. Maybe they want to help organizations or help poor people. But all of us have that calling in us that at some point of time, even after retirement, we will serve the poor in our own way. And my advice is, don't do checkbook charity. Always get involved in the project you are funding and visit the organization, see the beneficiaries, see how the organization is run. And with your own corporate experience, you can contribute a lot to bettering that organization and helping them run their operations better. So that was my corporate life till 99. Then it took me a couple of years to come back to normalcy. Till that time, I left Godrej in 99 with a clear view that I will enter social sector. But for a couple of years, I was a director on a few boards, traveling a little, all that sort of thing. And in 2001, Bharati Foundation was set up. And I've been with them heading the organization ever since. And that was a great opportunity where all these ideas of helping the social sector through adoption of best management and technology practices I could implement with a lot of freedom. This was much before the days of compulsive CSR funding and all that. So we were ahead of our times, but every corporate was willing to donate their best practices for helping the poor. So much so that many organizations we had alliances with, and including global universities. Many interns came and worked with us from abroad. So it was a lot of not only implementation, but also research, new innovations, best practice sharing. We used to hold monthly conferences across different domains, and people, organizations from all over the country would attend. So Bharati Foundation achieved a name for itself as a very innovative organization, and also the pioneer of bringing corporate practices into the social sector. So that's how I would briefly describe my stint in both the sectors. But in the social sector, then I went into different domains, helping out many more organizations. So four organizations I'm a founder trustee. In addition to that, I mentor many organizations. And the power of this social sector is everyone is willing to cooperate with each other for social good. And the credit doesn't matter. Everyone gets the credit. So it's not one individual or one organization's idea. The idea can come from anywhere, but the implementation and the impact that we create is the major focus, and nothing else.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
I think it's been a very enriching experience for us. It's the first time we've had somebody with such a large stint in corporates moving on to social sector and then build it up over a period of time. So we look forward to a lot of insights coming in from that. I'll move on to the next question, sir. In the title, we have used the word social impact sector. So what exactly is social impact sector, and what prompted you to choose this sector?
Why I chose the sector, I told you, because of after the health issue, I wanted to serve the society because I thought my time was running out. So, of course, I continued to live another 25 years. In 99, I had my first transplant. And after that, I went through severe health challenges, including one recently. So I've had 2 kidney transplants, 1 heart surgery, several cases of infections, sepsis, COVID, of course. So all sorts of health challenges I've been able to, the Almighty had protected me. And I'm sure that's with a larger purpose of serving the poor. It's not for myself. So I believe if you do good to others, good karma will come back to you for sure. And you will be able to impact more people. Here, when I meant social impact is, in corporate terms, every company looks at its top line and bottom line. Revenues are the top line, your profits are the bottom line. In the social sector, if you have to create an analogy, your top line is the number of people you impact. That means the number of beneficiaries, the number of people who avail of your program, and thus get benefited to do better things in life or improve their quality of lives. And the bottom line is about using meager funds, because every social sector organization needs funds, and without that, they can't progress. So even assuming you get very limited funds, and I'm talking of efficient organizations, because if some organizations spend a lot of money on their own overheads and salaries, then that's the wrong example. And I always believe in supporting organizations who limit their overheads to less than 10%. So at least 90% of the money collected will go to the beneficiary. So the bottom line is about how efficiently you manage your operations with limited amount of money and create leverage out of that. You involve the community, also collect some small funds from them so that there's a co-payment which they can easily afford. Then bring in other people, other funders, other organizations, including the government, for partnering. For example, two of the initiatives Bharatiya Foundation had incubated and set up was 108 and 104. 108 is now running in 24 states. 104 is running in about 12 states across the country. They are ideal examples of public-private partnership models, where you start a concept, scale it to a level when you prove to the world that this is sustainable, and then the government comes in. They start funding almost the full amount, at least 95% of the amount, and then it can be scaled by anyone, anywhere in the world. So that's the power of partnerships and leveraging. And a lot of foreign university students who came and worked with us, which included the best universities in the world, Harvard, Stanford, Princeton, Columbia, you name them, they've all been here. Those interns used to come on their own costs and go and work in our villages for about 6 weeks. Of course, this helped them in their biodata when they later applied for post-graduation or MBA in different different universities. And I'm proud to say 3 of them have later graduated as MBA, business school graduates from Harvard. So, and they keep coming back. Some vacations they come and still spend time with us. So the connect or the impact we made on their minds to serve the poor, that stays with them regardless of how high they rise in the corporate sector. And the same principle can be applied to all the executives listening in. They can contribute their expertise, their time, their domain knowledge, all to organizations doing well and improve their efficiency. And also involve their families, take their families for these projects that are being done. So there's a holistic involvement, and we get to operate in the self-actualized play much earlier than otherwise, because otherwise normally corporate race means you're racing to reach the top. Your main focus is on not your first level of Maslow's hierarchy alone. You want status, you want esteem, you want power. So at least till level 3, people are jostling with each other to reach the top. But very few of them operate from the self-actualized plane, which this sector, or even working as a corporate executive, helping out the poor through their organization or by themselves, gives them that opportunity. And these days, the CSR projects are run by the companies themselves mostly. They form their own foundations. So many of the executives also find opportunities to go into the sector even while working for the company, which is a great development. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. You've given us an excellent landscape of how you moved from the expertise that you gained in the earlier stint to what one can possibly do in the social sector. So today, if you need to look at the evolution of the social sector in India and where it is today, how do you assess it? What are the challenges?
Till about 25 years back, if you wanted to join the social sector, it was almost like going for sannyas forever. You had to wear a kurta, have a that jula bag on your shoulder. You go and stay in some village. You abandon all your material pursuits in life. And that was the type of social workers all of us sort of imagined in our own minds. But over time, that has completely changed. Now the sector, of course, it doesn't pay anywhere close to corporate sector because that's a personal sacrifice you have to make to serve the poor. But the last 10 years, I've seen even the salaries picking up in the sector. It's probably quite close to the corporate sector, maybe maximum 20% less. And then the satisfaction you get out of serving in the sector, that far outweighs all the rat race that you do in the corporate world. In my own case, I say that I climbed all the ladders in the corporate world till I discovered that the ladder itself was leaning against the wrong wall. So that's the sort of feeling you get when you switch from corporate to social sector, because this gives you far more joy, far more delight, far more self-fulfillment. And it gives you a far greater meaning to your life than merely chasing numbers or working for organizations or work.
Thank you, sir. There's quite a big scope for what can happen in the next many decades in the social sector. So if you have to look at the challenges which exist in the sector to move towards that sort of a vision, what would be your views on that, sir?
In the social sector or the...
Yes, in the social sector.
Yeah, the earlier challenges, as I said, was that of lack of professionalism. Second was most of India, you won't believe it, has more than 2.8 million social sector organizations, or NGOs as we call them, or civil society organizations. Many names they go under. In this number, probably only about less than a lakh of organizations are fairly well structured. And most of the time, the malady is some good-hearted man donates money, starts a foundation, but there's no succession plan. And most of the time, the NGO dies with the person who founded it because there's no one else to scale it. And as long as a man is there, he's highly respected, the community accepts it. But it doesn't outlast him as far as the organization is concerned. Organizations which are well run have, run despite the people, the processes, the systems, the way they serve the poor. All that is, that cost becomes larger and more motivating than any one person. An example is Missionaries of Charity, Mother Teresa's organization. We don't even know who is the person heading the organization now, but the good work she started in Calcutta of serving the destitutes, that work is still going on in a fairly big manner. And so if the cause is overpowering and the need for the cause or the need for that service exists, then any sort of NGO can be run subject to professionalized way of working. Of course, there are certain NGOs which probably have served that need fully. For example, if you are looking at eliminating abject poverty, Still, it exists in India. India still has over 40 crores of people, which is the largest in the world. People living below $2. Out of 8 billion people in the world, 1 billion live under $2 per day income. So India still has 40% of that. So we still have a lot of work to do. We still have a lot of, the government is trying its best through direct transfers and all that. But the problem in the bottom of the pyramid is there's so many segments there, There is the poorest of the poor, real bottom of the pyramid, and then there are the creamy layer amongst them. And many of them who are availing these benefits or direct transfer benefits from the government are not the deserving people. They are the people with a little influence or has bribed someone in the system. And the money is getting routed to people who are genuinely not poor. And so, in my view, this should be treated as a fundamental right of a citizen who is poor, getting all the government benefits at his doorstep. Delhi government tried it for some time, it was successful. But to sustain it across the country, unfortunately, a lot of other politics comes in. And then politicians are involved, bureaucracy is involved, corruption, lack of accountability, delay. All this finally, defeats the very purpose for which such schemes are started. There's no dearth of money. That's the greatest news, because since the last 5 years, India is quite self-sufficient to eradicate its own poverty. And if you sum up all the schemes which are there for rural development, each village gets almost 200 crores of rupees, which is more than enough. I'm talking about a village average of 6,000 population, and India has 6 lakhs of villages. So it's not dearth of money. That's only the tip of the iceberg, which is always shown. But if at the bottom of the iceberg, there are a lot of inefficiencies which can be rooted out. And that's where the best practices, if you really combine these with all these best practices, good project management, real-time tracking of metrics, which is very, very effective, and hold people accountable for what they are supposed to deliver, then there will be dramatic improvement in the efficiency of these schemes. Thank you.
You said each village gets 200 crores on an average.
Yes, including all the schemes they have. Rural development itself, it's a huge amount of funds allotted.
Excellent, sir. You have shown us the possible light in terms of the funds which are available, the schemes which are there. You've also mentioned some of the issues which are currently there. Now, if you look at, you already mentioned the percentage, 40%, and we have an increasing disparity as well, which also partly this sector can address. Now, what specifically can be done given this sort of dynamics which is there in the sector right now, so as to address this 40%, sir?
Yeah, see, you have raised a very relevant point, Professor Prasad. One is poverty per se, which exists, which means we have to identify that 40% of the people correctly and make sure they are even funded on a monthly basis through including grants and free education for the children, free hospitalization, all that, so that they don't slip back into poverty. The very fact that our economists define poverty in a very narrow perspective. They only look at the calorific value of the food a person should consume, which will never solve poverty. It will only meet his hunger needs, but he has many other basic needs: housing, children's education, medical care. All these are not addressed. So there are new models for addressing this called multi-dimensional poverty indices. So India should adopt that, which means the poverty line itself will then be defined as not 3,600 rupees a month for a family of five, which is the current plight. It's maximum 4,000 or 4,500 now. That itself should go up to 15,000 per family of five to just about meet their multidimensional facets of poverty. Because if we don't do that, if they're only meeting their hunger needs, one illness or one calamity or one crop failure, any of this can send that family back to abject poverty. And then they start migrating, their children can't go to school regularly. So a lot of allied ills creep into the system, and that prevents it. The second point you raised is about the gap between the rich and the poor, which
Yes.
India sort of specializes in. We on the one hand we have the India Shining. We have a lot of entrepreneurs who have come up, and we have some of the world's richest men, all created in the last 5 to 10 years. But on the other hand, we have the most abject poverty. So if you look at the distribution, this 1% of the most richest men in the country own 50% of India's GDP or the income. Just 1% of the top tier or the richest of people have garnered 50% of the national wealth, whereas 50% of the poor you take, or 50% of the lower end population of the country you take, which is almost 70 crores of people, they have only 1% of the wealth. So this is a statistics we should be ashamed of as Indians, because this sort of disparity cannot exist forever. We have to either tax the rich, much more and give it to the poor. And there is also this loophole of agricultural income being not taxed. So that's a loophole. Every rich man or every politician or every bureaucrat who has made money through the wrong means, all of them use that as an escape route. So income is income in my view. And if the guy is earning above the income tax limits from whatever source, it should be taxed. So this is again, there is money in the system. There is, through even very minimal taxes we can eradicate poverty, no issue. But the disparity, I'm not saying play Robin Hood by robbing the rich and giving it to the poor. Even with very minimal taxation, and the CSR law is a good law. At least the corporates are forced to spend 2% of their profits towards the CSR projects. But that is, individuals can do far more. Every individual is taxed. So now only the salary class is being penalized because their taxes are deducted at source. All the rest are, and they lead a very opulent life, very luxurious lifestyle. But in spite of that, they don't pay any taxes. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. You raised some very important points, sir. You mentioned about a very large number earlier, about large number of organizations which are into the social sector, and yet there is quite a bit which can be done since few of them are fairly efficient. At the same time, you also discussed the definition of poverty, what should be done about it in order to target better and identify people better. And you also suggested some methods by which perhaps some of this disparity can be reduced. Now, I take you to another point, sir. Now, with such a large number of people in the organizations in the social sector, and still such a long way to go. You mentioned the 1% on the side and the 1% on that side of different criteria. How do you think, new ventures or existing ventures which perhaps can adapt? I'm not sure which will work into the future. How do you think this need of many more social entrepreneurs who are process oriented, follow management principles, efficient? How do you get the social entrepreneurs as well as social sector career professionals, workers, now that salary disparities are also less, as you mentioned? And how do you tune people to work in that sector based on their own dreams? How do you get people in that, sir? How do you motivate people into that?
I think the best time to get them is fresh off their colleges, either BA, BCom, or MBA. And many MBA institutes have now started courses on social entrepreneurship per se. The definition of social enterprise is serving the needs of the poor at a reasonable cost that they can afford. But unfortunately, many organizations call themselves social enterprises, even with a pure profit motive and a high profit margins, etc. So that category I would sort of discount or keep them away from what we are going to address. So if many more organizations come up which serve large number of poor people's needs at affordable costs, that can be a huge differentiator. And you have to catch them young, as I said, because when you join the sector right from the institute, you stay wedded for it. But making a switch after corporate life, it happens rarely, unless the person is burned out or is wanting a change because he doesn't like corporate life anymore. But that happens to people far more older. And probably by the time the fire in the belly is gone or the idealism is gone, they're not the right segment. I'm not saying there aren't people. There will be, of course, many more people who are willing to serve unconditionally. So those people are most welcome. But otherwise, anyone joining the social sector just for the money is the wrong person. And
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
if I running a course on social entrepreneurship.
We do have a course, sir. We have a course on social
But
entrepreneurship.
is it part of your MBA?
Yes, but we made it specifically for healthcare.
Okay. Maybe you can expand the domains, healthcare,
Yes.
education, many other genuine needs of the poor can be addressed. Of course, one course in MBA is also powerful enough to sensitize students on that. But along with that, also make them do at least one project in the social sector. Many projects they must be doing across the year. It need not be the full summer project, but it can still be a 10-day project or a 15-day project. ISB does it. Many other institutions does it. XLRI does a full 1 month. They have to go live among Adivasis and all that. So different institutions tackle it in a different way. XIMB has a full-fledged course on social entrepreneurship. So does TIS, both in Bombay and the Hyderabad campuses. SPJ had one because the founder was very committed to the society. So he made sure that right from the beginning of the MBA program, there was a social entrepreneurship course as well as projects. And they have published many articles on this. So many of these projects become case studies for future students to follow. And that's very rich information because corporate projects are dime a dozen. So there are plenty of things to read there. And there are competitions among NITI in Bombay used to conduct a competition for the best summer project by any MBA organization. So similar things we can also do for the social sector projects. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for outlining a vision for the social impact sector, as well as identifying issues and opportunities for that. We are at about 5:48. I hand it back to Professor Rao. If time permits, I'll come back.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
I wanted to ask you a slightly different question, sir. I understand that you played good tennis in the early days.
Yeah.
At an international player level kind of a tennis. And due to health problem, you had to quit that. And also, I understand that you played bridge at national level. So give us some stories, one or two important stories from the sport area.
Pastimes, I would say. I enjoy the tennis. I played very active tennis till I finished my engineering. I captained the state as well as the university. I was nationally ranked 4, even ahead of Ashok Amruthraj. He was my contemporary. He was 5 years, 4. And we have partnered each other in several tournaments. But of course, if you are a good student those days, then sports is given second priority. So even my parents took that route, saying that first do your education. So it was not due to ill health I stopped tennis, because I was quite fit till 45. And I continue to play, but more at the social level and all that, not at the competitive level. Bridge is something I took up in XLRI, and that game fascinated me. I'm very logical, very, you have to be observing every card that's played. So then again, it started as a pastime. But after all my health issues, about 5 years back, I decided to retire. And then I said, let me give a shot at bridge in a serious way. And then that year, my team went out to win the nationals, which is a surprising thing because we are a scratch team of friends, and none of us had played for won the nationals, or played for the country, or any of that sort. So even now, bridge remains a passion. I don't play too much of physical bridge in the sense that with people, because of my, my resistance level is very low. I can catch infections. But the good thing is the computer gives me the opportunity. I play with the robos now, and they play very fast. I play also fast. So that helps me. Even if 1 hour a day I play much more than what a normal person would play for 2 or 3 hours a week. So that continues to keep me engaged. At least my brain cells are working. So that's as far as the bridge is concerned.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. What lessons from competitive tennis did you take to social impact sector, sir?
That's a very tough question. If I have to say that there were not equal opportunities, tennis was still a rich man's game during my time. So poor people couldn't play tennis. Now, of course, there are many public courts and government schemes, and people are able to play. But if you look at the Indian lots of tennis players who have all come up in the last 40 or 50 years, all of them have been either funded heavily by sponsors or they have rich parents. Otherwise, this is a game impossible to fund on your own. And once you reach a level, you need better coaches, better far more tournaments to be played, which is not easy, the travel and all that. But bridge is a game anyone can take up. I would recommend that more people play bridge if they can't afford the tennis part. And now tennis has become such an intense game. At the the older people have lesser and lesser chances of maintaining themselves. As you see, Sinner and Alcaraz has reached a level which is far more than what the other top three played at that age. So this is going the badminton way. If you don't, you peak by 25 or 26. Going beyond that and maintaining fitness to beat the younger guys will be a challenge.
Right, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you for sharing with us some of those interesting facts. We have Mr. Pradeep Gopalakrishnan who would like to ask you a question. Mr. Pradeep, please go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Jacob.
Thanks for the inspiring talk. My question was regarding the social impact assessment. Uh, when the projects are done, many a times the actual impact, whether it's how much impact it actually has. Companies have their CSR, and we have also seen that many companies twist the CSR funding into ways where it's actually, not actually benefiting the cost, but it's actually getting routed back one way or the other. I mean, I don't want to name any specific, but we have seen in the recent past and media and stuff. So my point is how to measure impact of a social project. Is there any third-party verification or assessment that can be done?
There are a lot of metrics which are used for the success of the project. First, to start with, before the project starts, you should be clear how many people are going to be impacted, what's the time frame, what's the overheads, how do you end the project? Do you just do a one-time project and then walk away? Or do you track the progress of the beneficiaries for the next 1 year? Suppose you have given them livelihood skills. Do you track after a year how much of money is being able to earn of that livelihood? So there are many measures which are possible, and live tracking of metrics makes it impossible for people to fudge figures. The second factor you raised is very, very relevant. There are quite a lot of fraud organizations, and now corporates have also entered the fray with the CSR funding. They route it for something else, but show it as CSR project. For example, Mr. Ambani, his 2% CSR budget may be a few thousand crores, but his son's wedding was probably 10 times more opulent. I'm not saying he should not splurge on his son, but when you do things, you talk on the one hand, you say that I'm doing great work in CSR, but on the other hand, you show a wrong example. That obviously defeats the purpose. And many organizations and even NGOs I know, use this ATG, the donation or the FCRA, as a means of laundering money, converting black money into white money. And even corporates, what they show as projects done, they can pack a lot of other expenses, they can put it on this, and which are genuine corporate expenses, and pretend that this is part of CSR. So this can be easily exposed through compulsory audit of these funds and how they are used. But I don't think the government has the will to do it, because they will ruffle a lot of very rich feathers around. So obviously, I'm sure some more laws will come in to prevent this. But unfortunately, now laws are coming in to prevent the social sector from getting money. Both FCRA, even organizations with ATG. There's far more scrutiny, and separate bank accounts will have to be opened in Delhi. They're afraid of any foreign money coming in because they think it will destabilize the government. All these are unnecessary fears provided you know the intent of the organization. First you should vet the organization, give them all the permissions so you're convinced that this is genuinely for the good of the country. And then let them run their projects, without too much of. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Pradeep, for that question. Sir, I have one last question before we close this interesting conversation. Despite some health challenges, you have thrived and moved from strength to strength. What is the secret, sir?
I don't think there is any secret. First secret is I get a good night's sleep every night, because whatever I do for social good and not for myself.
Right.
So that itself is a large so sense of satisfaction I get is immense. And otherwise, it's the grace of the Almighty that I've been given so many chances. So there's nothing else. I'm a freak human being who got so far I've got about 10 chances at a new life. Almost gone to the edge and come back.
Sir, if you could talk about your family, sir, their support.
And the family, of course, is when I joined the social sector itself, it was a big sacrifice for them. So this is my wife, Sunita. Yeah.
Good evening, ma'am. Welcome.
Good evening.
We were asking sir a question of, in spite of health challenges, you have thrived and moved from strength to strength. What is your secret? So sir said, secret is my spouse. And then we have requested you to come here. Thank you so much, ma'am, for contributing to the social impact sector indirectly by staying by sir's side in thick and thin. I think a big kudos to you and the entire family for staying so committed. The entire life is a lesson in hope, opportunity, resilience, and commitment. And definitely family's contribution and sacrifices will have to be counted very, very high. Thank you so much for being with us, ma'am. Say a few words to our audience.
Oh dear. Well, I'm really sorry. I don't know who the audience is, whether it's students or professors, but
All the professionals.
all are professionals. Well, all I can say is that it wasn't a very easy choice for me to accept when we were at the peak of our both our careers. He was doing well, and we were enjoying the materialistic things of life and thoroughly enjoying all that when this happened and this decision was taken. So I can't say that I walked into this with my arms open, but yes, I did. And we have never regretted that choice that he made. And I used to work for the Elite, which is a very elite international school, and he used to be, on the other side of the spectrum. But I think there was a great synergy between the two, and we made it work. And it's not as if we just made it work. We thoroughly enjoyed each other's, whatever support. And it's come this far, and I'm glad that he is a happier person. And, he's done so much for so many people. And we truly believe that all his challenges, health challenges, etc., are he has been supported so much by all the goodwill of so many people, including this gentleman who's standing here next to us, Mr. Ved, who's been such a good support. And so there is goodness in everything. Sometimes it doesn't make sense at that moment, but when we look back, we think that yes, the support that we've given each other has helped all of us. So that's my only
and our experience has been when we walked away from money, which was a tough decision for the family. But for me, it was an easy decision because that was a dream I wanted to anyway chase after my kidney failed. When we walked away from it all, after that we've been never short of money. Of course, we don't lead a luxurious life, any of that. But whenever we needed money, through some means we have got it, partly family wealth and all that.
He has actually a great statement. I don't know whether you've said about
Yeah,
ladder.
I talked to
Okay, because I consider that as one of his great one-liners.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, madam. I want to make a special mention here that when your intentions are good, the resources will be opening up for you to support. Entire universe will actually conspire to make it work. It is true in this case as well. And Madam Sunita and Mr. Verghese, thank you so much for putting up a stellar performance in social impact sector throughout your life. We have been studying about you, and today we got this opportunity to talk to you, sir. I'm very happy and thankful to the effort put in by Dr. Ved Purishwar. I want to thank him for introducing us to you, sir. Dr. Ved Purishwar has very patiently dealt with us in connecting us with you and making this event possible. Thank you, sir. We could get a glimpse of you as well. Good evening, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sudhakar. Thank you, Prasad. It has taken about a year to make it happen. We planned it in July last year. Since then, there have been lots of ups and downs, and now Mr. Verghese is looking very cheerful. Madam is also looking very cheerful. So we are ending on a good note.
But one last line from me, if any of you are here in Hyderabad or anywhere in this side of the world, please do visit us. We both like company, so please come.
We'll actually take that invite, ma'am, very seriously.
Yes, certainly, sir.
We'll definitely drop in.
I also have a good connect with ICFAI right from Dr. Yashasvi's days.
Oh, great.
Yes.
Great.
So in fact, he used to be also a tax consultant for Bairaju Foundation. So great man, great mind, and I hope the organization grows from strength to strength.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for those words. In fact, we are writing a biography on Mr. NJ SSV, and I will probably meet you with a copy of that biography once it is published.
Sure.
It will be a great opportunity to see you.
Wonderful.
So, Professor Prasad, you have any last word? With that, we can close.
Yes, I have a question which comes from partly from what ma'am has also said. The momentum in today's world is towards career, towards the economic dimensions, the value systems that the generation has. They have seen the value systems that we have. They've also seen us taking the world in a completely different way. And the belief in that is not as much as it should be. So they're looking for something else. They have a slightly different value system. Right or wrong, we can't say. So in this sort of a situation, when you've got this momentum more towards the economic dimension, and the value systems are in a certain way, how do you motivate youngsters or people with age?
Part of your value systems come from your family. It's a very large element of how you're brought up and what sort of values did your parents instill in you, etc. The rest, of course, it's for the individual to adapt to it. So I always say you should never do anything which will look like you are selling your soul. So if you can sleep, as I said, peacefully, knowing that you have only done good and nothing wrong or hasn't harmed anyone, I think that's a principle each one of us can imbibe. It's not very difficult. Of course, some people are so ambitious, they will take shortcuts or they will not be a team man, but those are all temporary successes, because in the long run, your peers, your subordinates, all are watching you. You can always please your boss, that's just one person, but you can never fool your peers or
and your wife. And your wife.
No, no man is hero to his valet statement, But I think that's a principle that every management institute also should teach. You should have a course on. I'm sure most of you have a course on business ethics. But other than that, your own self-development, which helps a lot, including TA sessions and all that, because it takes you deep inside and purify yourself much better.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for giving us those insights. Back to Professor Rao.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. One single takeaway for the day is that if you have the commitment, and ideas can come from anywhere in social impact sector, but focus on implementation and focus on impact. I think that's a big takeaway for the entire session that we have had today. I want to thank you on behalf of all of us from ICFAI, on behalf of Professor Prasad, on behalf of the entire team that has joined today to listen to you. Thank you so much for sparing your time, sir. We stay inspired from your journey and continue to get in touch with you to learn further as and when there is an opportunity.
Most welcome. It will be my privilege. Yeah.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
So, ladies and gentlemen, that's a wonderful session on the journey and life of Mr. Verghese Jacob, and also how social impact sector is playing a pivotal role in the growth of our country. Next week, again at the same time, we are going to talk with another leader on 27th of June around 6:30 p.m. and we will learn once again then. That is going to be 199th session. Until then, keep learning more about the social impact sector and Google and understand the contributions made by Mr. Jacob Verghese towards the Bairaju Foundation and a few other entities like this. It will be highly inspiring. Have a great weekend and good night. Thank you all.